Nobody tells product founders this, but building a personal brand in 2026 might actually be the reason why your products aren't selling. Stay tuned because I am going to share with you what actually works. If you're a product founder and you have been grinding, posting, showing up, doing all the things, and your sales are still inconsistent, I need you to stop what you're doing and watch this entire video, because what I'm about to share with you is something that nobody in this space is really talking about. And it's the reason why some product brands blow up while others stay stuck. Here's the truth. You have been told that the key to growing your product brand is by building a personal brand. Show up online, share your life, get followers, and the sales are somehow supposed to follow. I'm here to tell you that advice, while it may have been well-intentioned, is incomplete. And in a lot of cases, it's actually working against you. But before we get into it, I want to know who is actually watching this video. So if you are a product founder, whether you're selling physical products like skincare, hair care, jewelry, apparel, or whether you're selling digital products like planners, templates, or even courses, comment product founder in all caps right now, because I want to see what it is and who it is we have in the room. And I want to make sure that everything that I share especially lands specifically for you. Here's where the personal brand conversation goes all wrong for product founders specifically. When people hear build a personal brand, they think that means sharing their entire life online, like their morning routine, their kids, their relationship, their opinions, literally everything. And one of two things ends up happening. Either they go all in and start oversharing and attracting followers who love their vibe, but they never actually buy anything from them. Or they resist the entire idea as a whole because they think, I don't want my whole life on the internet, so they do absolutely nothing and their product brand stays invisible. I've seen both play out and neither of them works. So I'll give you a real example. There was a girl online with over 1 million followers. I can't remember her name, but she built this lifestyle brand where people was loving her aesthetic, her energy, her outfits of the days, her content, the whole nine. She decided to launch a t-shirt brand. I don't know if she owned the brand or she was partnering with a brand that sold t-shirts, but either way, do you want to know how many t-shirts she sold? Not one. Not because the t-shirts were bad, but because a personal brand attracts fans and fans don't always buy. If you heard of that story, comment I heard that down below, because I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about. And then you know how some musical artists have the most ride or die fans in the world, but still struggle to sell albums? I could think of a few. Because attracting a fan and attracting a buyer are two completely different things. And then I've actually worked with someone who was sharing bits of her day at work. She was sharing bits of her culture, her cooking, her traveling, all kinds of content. And some of it did numbers, but her goal was to actually sell a productivity planner. And nothing about her content said that she was someone who was on top of her productivity or her finances. She was just putting out content like she wanted likes and engagement. It was cute until she realized she was trying to sell something and nobody was trying to buy it. And it wasn't because her product wasn't good. It was because she was attracting people who just didn't fit the bill of her brand and business. And that's the problem with a generic personal brand. It's not strategic, it's not intentional, and for product founders, it's just not enough. So what's the alternative, you're probably asking? Well, this is where I share all about CEO branding. Now, I want you to really write this definition down, because this is going to be the most important thing that you learn about growing your product brand in 2026. A CEO brand is the intersection of your lifestyle and your business strategy. It's when you intentionally use your story and your personality and your daily life as a brand asset that grows your business's visibility, credibility, and profitability. Your life becomes your marketing because it's strategic, not performative. So I want this to land for you, so I'm going to say it again. Your life becomes your marketing in a strategic way, not a performative way. See, the difference between a CEO brand and a personal brand is intention. A personal brand shares your life for likes and connection, while a CEO brand shares your life for connection and conversion. And for product founders, that distinction is everything. So I want to show you what this looks like in real life, because I promise you that it's been all around you and you just haven't realized that CEO branding has been taking effect with real people that you actually know. So first off, let's talk about Jackie Aina. Now, Jackie Aina blew up on YouTube in the early days. She built her platform sharing makeup tutorials, beauty content, and she built a very large following. But Jackie then did something super smart. She created a separate Instagram page called Lavishly Jackie, where she dedicated it to her luxury home content. On that page, she would show you all things around her home. She would show you tidying up, unpacking for trips, day in the life at her home. And every single time, she would intertwine her life with her love for candles and her love for fragrance. And then guess what she started selling? Candles and perfume. She didn't just randomly decide to sell something and throw it up on her beauty page. She actually built and curated the brand and audience intentionally for her specific product. The ones that connected with her luxury lifestyle and aesthetic automatically became buyers, and she nurtured that community before she ever launched a product. That page now has over 1 million followers, and that is CEO branding in action. Then you have people like Emma Grede. She is the brand and the beauty and the brains behind Good American, Skims, Safely, a whole lot of companies. And for a while, people didn't really know that Emma Grede was the co-founder of these brands or CEO of these brands, because a lot of them are faced with other celebrities such as the Kardashians. So Emma Grede actually started a podcast. She started speaking. She went on other people's podcasts. She released a book, went on a book tour. She has become a guest shark on Shark Tank and much, much more. She did the legwork to actually build her CEO brand. And now her face is on the front end. Her name is at the top of people's minds because she didn't just hide behind her products or behind the Kardashian name. She actually stepped out into the spotlight strategically, and now her presence alone sells. And now you're probably like, okay, Chanel, so what about you? So I'll bring it a little closer to home because I want you to know that I practice exactly what I preach. So before I even put a name to what I was doing, before I called it CEO branding, I was doing it. And so the moment I realized that I had something special was when I sold over 900 products in less than 6 months. Not because I had the biggest following, but because I actually built a CEO brand that made people trust me before they ever saw my product page. They knew who I was, they knew what I stood for, they knew my story, and when it was time to sell, they were already ready to buy. And that's the true power of a CEO brand. So let me break down exactly how this works, because a CEO brand has a formula. So the formula that I created for CEO brand is CEO brand equals visibility plus authenticity plus strategic monetization. I'm going to break each one down one by one. Visibility is not random posting. It's posting to actually show you doing the work, sharing your process, sharing your expertise in motion, and sharing your perspective in a way that matters to your audience. The core thing that you need to understand here is if people never see you, they never get the chance to trust you or your products, period. Your product could be the best thing since sliced bread, but if nobody knows the person behind it, they don't have a reason to choose you over the next option. Then there's authenticity. Authenticity is all about humanizing your brand. And let me be very clear. This is not about oversharing. This is not about being messy online or sharing every polarizing opinion you have about every topic under the sun. Authenticity means letting your lifestyle reflect your values, letting your audience see your perspective, showing the woman behind the product. It's strategic vulnerability, not emotional trauma dumping. And here's a gem I want you to take note of. Authenticity is what makes your visibility believable. You can be everywhere online, but if it doesn't feel real, it just doesn't convert because people can sense the fakeness coming off of you. Authenticity is the bridge between being seen and being trusted. And then my favorite part, because if you're like me, you like monies. So strategic monetization. This is where your CEO brand starts making real moolah. And I'm not just talking about product sales, although that's absolutely included. Your CEO brand sets you up to make money through your products, through collab opportunities, through brand partnerships, and through being the face that other brands want to align with. Your presence alone starts attracting opportunities that make sense for your brand. You attract the consumers that are meant for you, and you repel the ones who aren't. And you attract external opportunities, partnerships, campaigns, collaborations from brands that see you as somebody worth investing in. The benefit of all of this is that people don't just trust your product, they trust you as the power behind it. And that right there is the ultimate cheat code. Now, I know exactly what you're thinking. Chanel, that sounds great and all, but I don't want my entire life on the internet. I value privacy, girl, and I don't want to share everything. I hear you, and I want you to hear me when I say no one asked you to share everything. That's where the pie slice method comes in. The funny thing is, I gave this presentation recently to a room of incredibly high caliber women, people who are already making millions of dollars. Many has already made millions of dollars this year. And even in that room, one of the most common pain points and questions was, I don't do this internet thing. I don't want all my business out there. So what the heck do I do? So trust me when I say you are not alone. Here's how I want you to think about it though. Imagine a pie, a whole, beautiful, delicious, sweet potato pie, okay? You get one good slice, the best slice. You can devour that slice, every layer, every bite. The rest of the pie though, you see it, you smell it. Maybe you get a crumb here or there, but you never actually get the full thing. And if something isn't on the pie at all, you don't even know that it exists. Your CEO brand is built around that one slice. For me, my pie slice is my brand and my business journey. Everything about building, growing, strategizing, the wins, the lessons, the behind the scenes, that's my slice. I will share any and everything about that and allow my audience to devour it. Why? Because my product brand, HBU, and my brand development and training company, the Brand Hustler, literally is dedicated to entrepreneurs. I help those who are overwhelmed, those who need guidance, and with my products, I help those who are unorganized. So my brand and business pie slice makes sense. Now, my husband and our marriage, you may get some crumbs here or there. You may see it, you may smell it, you know it exists, but you're not getting a deep dive. My health and wellness journey, the same thing. Complete crumbs. My travels, I show you enough to smell it, get inspired, and then I tie it back into entrepreneurship so that it makes sense. But you're not going to get a full breakdown of an itinerary, prices, and all of that because that's just not my pie slice. And some things just aren't even in the pie. My parents, for example, you rarely ever see them. People are cray-cray, and I just choose to protect some things wholeheartedly. So the point is, you don't have to share everything. You just have to share the right things. The slice that your audience actually came for. And if after all of this, you are still asking, okay, Chanel, but what specifically do I show when I'm just getting started? I got you. There are 4 specific visibility pillars that make up your CEO brand content. 1, the work. That's what you're building. Show us the product, the process, the behind the scenes. 2, the process, how you're building it. The decisions you're making, the lessons you're learning, and the strategy behind what you do. 3, the perspective, how you think, your opinions in your industry, your take on what's happening in the market, and your belief about what it takes to build a great brand, business, or product. And 4, the proof, the results, the movement, the progress, and the receipts that show that it's working. Those 4 pillars alone are your CEO brand content strategy. Everything you post should fall into one of those, and it's really that simple. And that's how simple it gets when you have the right framework. Now, I gotta be real with you for a second because building a bomb CEO brand is just one piece of a bigger puzzle. And I've been cooking up something that I think is gonna be a game changer for product founders specifically. And I'm gonna even let some of y'all in completely for free. In it, what I'm gonna do is pull back the curtain on the 3 brand gaps that are quietly killing your product sales. Because CEO branding is absolutely one of them, but I can guarantee that you probably don't even realize what the others are. So if you've been working hard, posting harder, doing all the things, and your sales are still hit or miss every month, you need to be in this room. So I'm gonna make sure that I put the waitlist link in the description so that way you could get on it and be one of the first to know when doors open, because that room will be limited. But here's what I want you to do right now. Before you close this video and move on to watch something else, I need you to first identify your pie slice. What is the one area of your life that intersects the most with your business? That's where your CEO brand lives. Second, look at your last 10 pieces of content. Do they fall into one of the 4 visibility pillars? Are they the work, the process, perspective, or the proof? If not, you know exactly what you need to fix. And third, make sure that you get on the wait list, because CEO branding is just one of the things that's standing between you and consistent product sales. And I want to show you all of the gaps that you have within your brand. Now, if you made it all the way to the end of this video and you are ready to step into your true CEO era, I need you to comment CEO era in all caps right now, because that is you declaring, that is you saying that I'm done being the best kept secret and I'm ready to be the brand that everyone knows, trusts, and buy from. So comment CEO era, and I'm gonna see you in the next video. Bye for now.